Welcome to Composing in Ableton Live, lesson number 1. In this video, I want to show you just a couple tips and tricks in terms of how to get started and work with clips and just how to compose, or some different methods of composing, really. So there's lots of different places that we can begin with. Sometimes we might come up with a melody or a tune. Sometimes we come up with a bass line. Sometimes we come up with a harmonic progression. There's no hard and fast rules of what comes first. And sometimes when we're stuck and we're not quite sure what to do, we might actually start by stealing from other people. So I'm going to steal a chord progression from Adele, actually. So that's the chord progression I'm going to steal, and then I'm going to build other things around it, maybe my own bass line, my own melody, and things like that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to choose an instrument. I'm just going to find a basic, maybe keyboard instrument. So I'll just grab this simple piano for now and dragged it into this track. And so I've recorded and enabled the track. So when I play chords, so my basic chord progression for Adele was an A major triad, followed by a C sharp minor triad, followed by an F sharp minor triad, and then a D major triad. So I'm just going to record that into a track. So I'm just going to record from the beginning of this first track. That's where this grand piano sound is placed. I'm going to turn on my metronome. I'm going to turn down my tempo a little bit here. So my BPM's down set to 90. My metronome is on. I'm going to do a 2-bar count in. So all that's ready to go. And I can hit record. I'll get a 2-bar count in, and then I can start playing. Okay. I'm going to go and clean this up a little bit now. So double click on this. First thing I'm going to do is select all these notes and So I'm going to quantize them. Control, hit the quantize setting. I'm going to do every quarter note and hit OK. Let's see, I missed this note, so I can just manually grab it and bring it to the note there. There we go. I'm also going to select all the notes again. So actually I can hit Command A, and now I'm going to hit legato. So all the chords are connected, and I'm going to hit loop, and I'm going to loop this a few times, maybe 4 times. And let me get my tempo back up to 120. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to add another layer on top of this. So I'm going to grab a different synth sound or a different keyboard sound for this. So one of the things that's sometimes difficult when you're starting to compose is that in Ableton or any DAW is that we just have so many different sounds to choose from. So don't worry too much about finding the perfect sound at the beginning. Just find something so you can get some notes in, and then we can always change the sounds later. So I'm going to grab this little glass piano, put this in here, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some little arpeggiation figures underneath the chords using the same chords. So I'm going to bring this way down. Really slow. I'm going to go back to the beginning by double clicking on stop. That takes me to 1, 1, 1, the very beginning of the piece. Bar 1, beat 1 for 16th note. I'm going to turn on my metronome and start recording. Okay, I'm going to check this out now, see if I made any mistakes somewhere. Looks like I made a mistake here. I'm going to delete that note. I'm going to select everything. Maybe quantize this. I'll also set this to eighth notes now. Hit quantize. And then let me just listen to this track on its own. Back up to tempo. Cool. I'm going to legato this. And now I'm going to loop this. Whoops. Now it's not looping because I didn't set loop. There we go. And now I've got my two layers. So now I can hear what both of these sound like together. Turn off my metronome. Okay, so I'm going to fix a few little things here. One, I want to change this sound in this first track. So like piano sound is great, but I'm going to make it more a pad, kind of sustained pad sound. So again, I'm not looking for the perfect sound, but I'm just going to try to find something that's a little bit less maybe percussive and more just sort of maybe glassy or airy. There we go. I'll try that. So now I've changed the sound just by dragging it into here. I'll do that again. I'll undo. So here's my grand piano sound in this track. And so if I want to replace it, all I have to do is drag this pad, this other sound, and now if I drop it, it replaces it. So now we have a different sound. Let me solo this track and hear what that sounds like. Cool. All right. So let me hear what both these sound like together. So I'll unsolo that. So, and now play. Actually sounds like there's something funky going on here. I wonder if my loop point isn't quite exactly right. I'm going to zoom in here, and sure enough, it looks like, I don't know if you can see, but my dashes are a little bit off. So let me check the loop point of this, and sure enough, it's just a little bit shorter. So I'm going to extend this loop to the downbeat. Now things will line up a little bit better. I actually wonder if maybe making these a little bit less legato might make it a little bit more distinct. So I'm going to kind of do that. So there's a little bit of space between each of them. Let's hear what that sounds like. Okay, cool. And now I might actually add a bass line to this. So let me do that. So I'll find a bass. So I don't need these audio tracks. I'm going to delete them by clicking on them and hit delete. And now if I actually drag this into an empty area here, it'll create a new MIDI track with that bass sound. So let me hear what my bass sounds like. Okay, it's not perfect, but we'll live with it for now. Bring down my metronome a little bit, turn my metronome on, so my BPM, turn that down, turn my metronome on, go back to the beginning. Okay, so that wasn't perfect, but I can go here and clean it up a little bit. Select everything. I'm going to quantize to the 8th note for now. And then let me see what happens if I legato this. and see if I like this. So now I can listen from the beginning. Okay, I don't like the legato because it loses the kind of punchiness. So I'm going to select everything and just drag it a little bit so there's a little bit of a gap between every note. Okay, now I'm going to need to change the loop here. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to change this note so it's a little bit shorter than the loop point. So I get a rearticulation at the beginning. And now what I can do is actually loop this. Whoops, what's happening? Oh, I need to set looping. There we go. And now my loop points have matched. And let's see what this sounds like at 120. Okay, so I need to work on dynamics. I'm not sure if all the sounds are perfect. I could try some different sounds in here if I want. So if let's say I want to change the bass, I could let's try that one instead. So I don't know if I like that one yet. That's a little bit closer, so I can play with that a little bit. All right, so I still have work to do. I probably need to work on some dynamics and things like that, but we'll cover that in a later video. This is just a way to kind of get you started thinking about adding different layers. So start with a harmonic progression, then maybe a melodic idea or something else that goes along with it. Maybe add a bass line to it. So that just gives you a few ideas to kind of at least one place to start with. Start with a harmonic progression. In later videos, we'll talk about other techniques that you can use.